Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For those who don't know me, my name is Laura Terrell, and I know I haven't been posting for a minute. I'm in MIA or whatever, but today's video is going to be a little bit different. I even have my wine. This one is really good, by the way. It's called Stella Rosa, I think. It has very low percentage of alcohol, which I like. You know, I don't really like drinking alcohol like that when you're about to go to bed. It's just something to kind of like calm you down. It's very sweet and it's kind of like bubbly, but it's really good. I have a whole collection. But anywho, I'm doing this video for several reasons. One, I feel like I have to do this video because it's like, how can I not, you know? Because I'm, you know, obviously trying to be part of the YouTube industry, and it's like, how would this be fair for myself and for everyone watching if I don't talk about this and act like everything's okay? And how can I just continue to post and not show this, you know? So I feel like I have to do this in order to be real, to be to kind of, I guess, show awareness as well, and to kind of just, you know, since I'm already showing my life, why not? So it's like I would feel like I would be lying to everybody, if that makes sense, even though like my subscribers are not that much. But I mean, it's just it's weird because I prayed about talking about this, and I am the type of person that doesn't talk about this at all. I like to keep things closed in. I don't even talk about this to like my own family members. So for me to like be this vulnerable, it's kind of uncomfortable for me because I don't do that often. So it's like a big thing for me doing this publicly. But I feel like I needed to do this. I prayed about it for a really long time, and I kind of just sat on it for a minute before I just decided to go ahead and do it out of emotion. I wanted to do it once I've been okay and healing or whatever. I even wrote down everything, you know, making sure that I don't stay off topic because it might be a very long video. So just a heads up, I'm going to be talking about a lot. This is basically me talking about my mental health, and I guess at first, originally, when I decided to do this video, it was just going to be about mental health. But because something happened in my family, that this mental health video is now going to be kind of like a life update as well. But basically, I just wanted to talk about my mental health. For the past 2 weeks, I would say now, since it's been a while, I would say for the past month, my mental health has been not the best. I should have bought tissues because I feel like I'm gonna cry. And I don't like crying in front of people. I feel like that's just me showing weakness, and I know it's okay to cry, but sometimes I don't like to cry in front of people. I just don't like doing it. And for me to cry, it must have taken me like to the max for me to just cry in front of you. But I just wanted to talk about how I feel like mental health, no one talks about it. No one, you know, it's rare to see someone share light to it or bring it to light. I feel like, as me being Hispanic, coming from a Hispanic family, not many people, well, not in my family growing up, talked about this ever. So I feel like during the years I've came across, you know, obviously knowing what it is and knowing that, hey, I have this. I just feel like, in knowing now what I know, I feel like I've probably had this for a really long time, probably since I was a very young age. I feel like things got worse when I was bullied in high school. I was bullied, well, I wouldn't say high school, I would say it started middle school. Elementary school, to me, it was the best years ever. Shout out to Oakland Park Elementary. That school was the best. It was my best memories, my best time. It was just amazing experience as a child. But moving on to middle school is where I feel like everything just kind of wasn't the best. You know, people just start to pick on you for things. You know, I feel like at that time I didn't know what it was to care of people's opinions, because in elementary school, well, at least my school, we all wore uniforms. So there was no reason for anyone to pick on you for the type of clothes you wore, because everyone looked the same. And in my opinion, I feel like that's just the best for kids nowadays, to just dress in uniform, because everyone just looks the same. There's no reason for anyone to bully you for the type of clothing you wear, you know. So I feel like that's where it all started, of me caring so much what other people think about me. Had to be, you know, all these bullies or whatever. But yeah, I had a lot of bullying during my whole middle school and some of my high school, but I got through it. And I still kind of struggle through that to this day, is worrying too much what people think about me, but I'm working on it. Another thing that I feel like made my mental health worse was going through my mom's passing. For those who don't know, my mom did pass away April 22nd of, oh my god, it's been so long that I don't even know the year. 2013. I remember because it was the month before I graduated and she did not see me graduate. I had to deal with my grief on my own. I was 18, trying to finish the last year of my senior year. And my senior year was probably the worst year of my life. Well, I want to say my life, but my worst years of school. I was just in a very toxic relationship, and it was just going through a lot. I was missing so much school. I had like 30 absences, and at that time I had to kind of make up for the days that I missed. So like we would have to stay after school, and depending how much hours you stayed is how much days you would make up. So if you were to, sorry if you hear like yelling, like they're watching the game downstairs, and they're screaming, and oh my god, this is what happens when like I get like anxious, like I just like, you know, mess with my neck. But yeah, so what was I talking about? Yes, so my senior year was the worst. You know, I skipped a lot. I was in a toxic relationship. I even moved out. I moved out at the age of 18. As soon as I turned 18, 3 days later, I moved out of my parents' house, lived in with my boyfriend at the time, which is very, very toxic. And it's crazy how life works and how God does things in your life for a reason. And I end up leaving him at that time. I went back to my house, and as you know, I'm Mexican. So for you as a Mexican child, you know, to leave your house is basically saying that you're getting married, you know. So for me to call back up my mom and say, hey, I need to go back, like that was pretty much embarrassing to me, because I mean, I left is because like, hey, I'm gonna go be a wife, you know. But I called my mom. I called her up, and she asked me why was I moving back, and at that time I didn't tell her what was going on, so pretty much told her what was going on, and she let me come move in back. But the reason why I'm explaining this is because I basically had like 3 weeks left with her, and then she passed. So I feel like at that time this all had to happen for me to go and move back to my mom, if that makes sense, because then I wouldn't have been able to be with her those last 3 weeks. It was very, very hard. She suffered a lot from depression. It's like crazy because I don't really understand how she suffered from depression, because she played it off really, really good. I've never seen her act depressed or anything like that. Like she played it off really good. But she basically passed away from liver failure, and it was a very, very hard time for me and my family. Like I said, I was 18, my brother was 12, and it was just the two of us, and we basically had to learn how to grieve on our own. We were offered therapy, but we didn't want to do it, especially not my brother, but we just didn't want to. We felt like we needed to just figure it out on her own, which I think that was probably one of the biggest mistakes I did. But yes, so I feel like that's what one of the main causes why my mental health was not at its best at that time too. And then I meet my husband. At that time, obviously, he was my boyfriend. When he met me, it was really rough. Like I said, I left a toxic relationship. I was basically broken. You know, my mom passed away. It was just him picking up the pieces and figuring me out, and just being very patient with me, even though in the beginning I feel like I wasn't the best girlfriend, honestly. And he stuck around, and any other guy would have been left me, but he stuck around, helped me so much, and to this day has helped me so much with my mental health. So I literally owe it all to him. That's why I married him, you know. But my first anxiety attack. So my first anxiety attack was on, I don't remember the date, obviously, but it was it was at it was at my husband's aunt's house. And at that time I was prescribed something for my stomach, que me estaba doliendo el estómago. And I took it or whatever, and out of nowhere we were all having a conversation. It was me, Ramon, and his dad. We were sitting at the kitchen table. You see what I mean? I keep picking at my neck. We were all sitting at the kitchen table, and they were having a full-blown conversation. And for some reason, I did not understand anything they were saying to me. It was going one ear out the other. My hands started to sweat. My feet started to sweat. I felt like my chest was getting tight. I literally felt like I was going to die. Like, legit felt like I was like out of my body. Like there was no way that I was going to survive. It was the craziest thing ever. And I told him, like, I don't feel good. I don't feel well. And he ended up taking a walk with me. And it was probably one of the scariest moments of my life. I literally thought that I was gonna faint. I thought I was going to die. It was so scary because I don't know what was going on. I'm like, why is this happening? I understand. Like, I was just, it was bad. Oh man, I just spilled water on my notebook. But at that time when that happened, I didn't know what was going on. At that time, I didn't know that was an anxiety attack. So I immediately started to like look up my symptoms. I'm like, is it the pastilla that's what did to me? And like, you know, but it's a pastilla for your stomach, you know. I was prescribed something for my stomach ache. Well, it wasn't like a stomach ache. It was more for like for my bowel, like, you know, or something like that. I just know my stomach wasn't hurting. It was just something about like me being constipated. Yeah, that's what it was. And I was looking up the symptoms, and everything that everything that I read was describing an anxiety attack. And I'm like, oh my God, this was an anxiety attack? Like, what the heck is anxiety? And I looked it up, and I was like, wow, I cannot believe that. Like, why did I have that? I don't understand. It was out of nowhere. And I think that's why to this day, when I take any type of pastilla, I freak out. For example, I was prescribed last year in July levothyroxine, which is a pill for my thyroids. And as soon as I was prescribed that, I don't know, when you go to the pharmacy, you know, when you get your prescription, you get the little bag, you get your little prescription, and then you get like a pamphlet explaining like, you know, everything about the pastilla. Well, that's exactly what I read. I read that pamphlet front and back, probably twice. And the freaking side effects were so scary. Que me iba a morir, que se me iban a, how do you say the word? Deteriorate my bones. And I'm like, am I really gonna like lose my bones because of this freaking thyroid medication? Like, there was just so much stuff, and I'm like, how am I supposed to take this pastilla? And like, knowing what I read, how am I supposed to be okay with this? And I just stood there, I'm like, I don't want to take this, I don't want to take this. But eventually I was able to do it, and now I'm okay. But it's like, even for like over-the-counter prescriptions or medications, like Aleve or whatever, like if I can have the biggest headache, and I would try my best to like wait. Like, I don't need it. I'm the type of person that I don't go just excuse me, to the medications. I don't go and go for the first offhand. Like the moment I feel like a pain, like, oh my, I need something. I'm not that type of person. Even when I got my wisdom teeth removed, I was prescribed I just know it's Tylenol number 3. I think it was hydrocodone. I don't know how to say it. And the second day, I did not take my medication because like, now I got this, like I don't want to, you know, fill my body up with this type of medication, because I had to take a Tylenol number 3, and then I had to take two ibuprofens on top of that. I had to take those 3 together, and I was like, nah, like I'm good. And no, it was not good. I was in so much pain, the worst pain of my life. I woke up crying in the amount of pain I was, but that's just how I am when it comes to pastillas. I don't know, I just prefer not to take them, and if I can, then I will try my best to not to take it. So I don't know if it was because of that time me tomé la pastilla for the stomach. I don't remember if I read like the side effects, or if I was just like, damn, I wonder what's going to happen to me if I take this. Like, oh my gosh, what if it gives me, what if I'm allergic, you know? Because to this day, there's nothing that I know that I'm allergic to. So if I take in, God forbid, me estoy ahogando because I'm having an allergic reaction to this, that's something that's kind of scary to me. So I don't know if that could have been why I had my first anxiety attack. And at that time, estaba una canción que salió, que it's by Logic, and it was called Anxiety. But instead of A-N-X-I-E-T-Y, it's A-N-Z-I-E-T-Y. And then se salió esa canción about anxiety, and he explains the definition of anxiety. It's derealization, where he explains in his song, you guys should hear it, that he went to Disney World or Disneyland with his wife, and he was getting, you know, ready to go to the line, and he literally felt as if he was out his body, and what he was feeling was an anxiety attack. He even was rushed to the hospital because he thought he was going to die. And at that time when that song came on, I was obsessed with it. It kind of helped me cope with my anxiety in a way, to know that there was other people that were going through this, because I didn't know at that time. I probably was the only person that I knew that had anxiety attacks. But that was my first of many anxiety attacks that I had. And on top of, you know, just getting anxiety attacks like that, I feel like there's many people that don't talk about this either. Anxiety, like having day-to-day basis type of thing. I feel like a lot of people, when it comes to their mental health, they just brush it under the rug. Like, I don't want to talk about this. Like, you know, this is a sign of weakness. Like, I don't want to, you know, I'm not normal like everyone else. Like, you know, it's my freaking mind taking over my entire body, thinking something, just putting things in my mind, and I follow whatever my mind says. And I feel like a lot of people don't talk about this enough. Everyone is just, you know, they grow up to not talk about it. So it's like, I'm not going to talk about it, or I'm just going to brush it on the rug and just keep going. And I feel like on top of just having like anxiety attacks like that, for me personally, I get a lot of anxiety at the gym, and I love going to the gym. I love working out, but it's very hard sometimes, especially if you're doing a new workout, or you just feel like someone keeps staring at you. Sometimes it's hard to do that. And I know a lot of people now that they suffer from that as well, that they get a lot of gym anxiety. And it's just really hard to go into a gym knowing that you think in your mind that everybody knows exactly what you're doing, and you're the only person that doesn't know a simple thing. You know, and me, as knowing that I have worked out for such a long time, you were to think like I should feel that way, but I don't. There's many things that I still don't know that I am working on, or I don't feel comfortable doing this set in front of this group of people, because I'm going to think that, you know, they're staring at me because they're laughing at me. They're thinking I'm doing this workout, or they're thinking that I'm doing this workout set wrong. There's just so many things that in my mind plays while I'm trying to do a set of of whatever work that I'm doing. So at the same time, there's good days and there's bad days where I feel good. It was great workout, I didn't have any of those issues. And there's times where it takes over me, where I have to leave early because it's just taking over me too much. It takes a toll on me. So I have to leave, so that's why lately I just try to switch it up. Like for now, I've been just doing workouts in my garage, something that just help me for the moment. And another type of situation that happens to me is I feel like I have social anxiety as well. It's when, like, I'm a social person if I know you, but if I am trying to get to know you, or for instance, like my neighbors, like it's very hard for me to say good morning or hello. I can just sit in my car for like a minute and be like, okay, how am I going to do this? How am I going to say good morning? Like they're sitting right there. That would be so rude if I get out of my car and just walk into my house without saying good morning, good afternoon, and hey, how are you doing? It takes a lot for me to say that, because I don't know if it just happens so often, and people think about me that I'm intimidating, and I've gotten that a lot from a lot of people, because I don't go up to you and talk to you first, because I'm shy, and a lot of people have thought that I was just intimidating because of that, and it's really not because of that. It's because it's really, really hard for me to go ahead and talk to you. I have to like talk to myself, like I'm going to approach this person, what am I going to talk about? I don't know how to talk, I don't know how to keep up with the conversation, and there's so many times if someone comes up to me and say, hey, blah 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 blah, nice to meet you, my name is blah blah blah, the moment I exit that conversation, I cannot remember your name. I cannot. Any person that came up to me to tell me their name, I cannot remember it. I cannot. It's very, very hard for me to be very social with new people. I just don't know why. I don't know if it's, there's a thought behind my mind that I feel like I'm like that, because when I moved from California, I was in a class, I would think it was in kindergarten. Both of my teachers were Spanish. All we talked was in Spanish. We said our ABCs in Spanish. We only talked Spanish. I moved to Florida at the age of 6. When I moved here, I didn't know a single word of English. And I know I was depressed, because I remember clearly my mom would obviously wake me up to get ready for school. The school bus would come and pick me and my cousin up, and I absolutely hated that school. I hated that I couldn't like talk to anybody because no one understood me. I didn't understand them. I hated it so bad that every single day I just remember thinking like, oh, one day I'm gonna be able to jump this fence and go home. I know how to get home from here. Or there was one day where literally my tia was taking me to the bus stop, and I literally stood there and the bus was coming and waiting for me, and my tia was like, Laurita, apúrate, like the bus is here, you're gonna miss it. And I'm like, and I just stood there like, I don't want to go. I'm not going. I just didn't like going to that school. And the bus left me, of course, and my mom got really mad at me and took a taxi to go and take me to class. But I'm not sure if that's why it's very hard for me to talk to people, because of me going through that. I don't know if this is cricket. Is this cricket? Sorry if it's cricket, but oh well. So for me, it's very, very hard to talk to new people. Yeah, it gets me very anxious. I can't even pass by a person twice. Like, let's say I'm going through a neighborhood or something, and I'm walking and I pass by this person once. It's like I cannot pass by this person twice, because I just can't. I don't know. It's weird, but I'm sure there's people out there that can relate to that as well. Social anxiety, gym anxiety. Another thing is fears. I'm not sure exactly what type of anxiety that is, but it triggers my anxiety. Meaning, let's say me está doliendo el pecho. Oh my God, me está doliendo el pecho. Oh my gosh, like what's going on? Why does it hurt? Oh my God, what if I have cancer? Oh my God, what if I'm having a heart attack? That's what races my mind and races my heartbeat to think that I'm going to die. So I start to have anxiety attack. My arm hurts. Oh my gosh, I start to look up the symptoms. Oh my gosh, I could have cancer, I can have this. All these freaking symptoms that show up on the web makes me think that I really have this, and that I'm like, oh my gosh, I have this, like me voy a morir, and I start to think bad, and I start to have anxiety. And that's another thing. I'm also very terrified of heights. I had an anxiety attack when we went to Austin. Here I am again manchando my notebook. We went to Austin. There's a very beautiful restaurant that's next to the river, and it's called, oh my god, sorry, that was my stomach. I forgot what it's called. Oh my gosh, it's like a 3-story restaurant or something in Austin. It's like, and it has like a view, a beautiful view de un río, bien hermoso. I don't know why I can't remember it. Oh my god, I went blank. I can't remember it. But ese lugar está bien bonito. And that place, they have like a little glass like way, and then there's like a glass like way, right? And then there's like a little box area with glass in the piso. And you are in this area to take pictures. So everybody wanted to take pictures there, and I went, and as soon as I looked down, I can't do this, I cannot do this. I'm like, no, come on, you're fine. And I was like, I was pushed to my limit, so I literally started having a full-blown anxiety attack. I was bawling my eyes out. It was really bad. I can't even do water slides. I can't do water parks. I was having like a mini anxiety attack too when we went to Schlitterbahn, and I kept telling myself, you got this, like my niece Sienna was with me, like if she can do it, like why can't you, like why are you getting so scared about this, like what is your problem? But I did it at that time. I did it even though it was the worst feeling in the world, waiting to go down the ride. I don't like roller coasters. It's waiting to go to the ride and just going through all that is the full-blown anxiety, and it's just the worst feeling. By the time I'm off that ride, it's like, ya me estoy cansada, mentally like drained, like it takes a huge toll on me, and it's just too much for me. I'm sure people can understand, like I wish I wasn't like that. I wish I was, an adrenaline junkie where I want to go ahead and go on these slides. Like, that's exactly how my husband, he wants to go on the water slides. He wants to go on these roller coasters. He wants to do all these crazy things with the heights, And I can't do that because I freak out, and he has lost so many opportunities to go on a ride or to do something because I can't go with him, because there's absolutely no way I can do that. Lastly, my anxiety is also driving anxiety. Driving anxiety is the worst. Especially here in Houston, I drive an hour to work, an hour plus back. There's times where it takes me an hour and a half just to get home on how bad the traffic is. And the people here who drive are insane. Like, everyone's just in a hurry. That's the thing. Everyone's in a hurry. They don't have time to, like, oh, sure, you want to go in? Sure. Like, you have to force yourself in a lane. Like, everyone's in a hurry. Everyone's trying to get to places. Like, it's just full-blown crazy. And the capacity here is, like, to the max. And people are still coming over here. Like, we don't need any more people over here, honestly. And it's just so much. It takes so much toll on me. I have to put a GPS every single day, there and back, to figure out there's traffic this way, or I have to change my route, and changing my route is the worst. I hate when my GPS tells me, hey, we found a new route. And if it's a new route that I've never been before, that freaks me out because I've never been through this. I don't know what can happen. What if I get lost? This is too much. And Las Calles here are worse than Florida. Like, they have like freaking 3 signs, and like they say 1, 2, 3, like all these stuff, like, okay, which way do it go? Like, oh my god, wait, my GPS just like, wait, go over here, wait, no, I don't know. And then it's like so much, and then all these cars coming, and it's like, okay, I can't, like, use just so much. So that is probably one of the anxieties that I deal with every single day, Monday through Friday. Every single day. That's why on the weekends I don't drive. I let my husband drive. I need a break. I need a mental break to prepare myself to, I'm going to drive. Okay, I'm sorry guys, my camera just stopped. So let me go ahead and kind of talk about where I left off. Basically how driving anxiety, right? So I feel like a lot of people probably have this, but they're fortunate enough to have someone drive them, or they take Uber, you know, or they just simply probably, or they have it so bad that they can't work, you know. I feel like if I really had it that bad, I probably wouldn't even drive to work. Like, I probably would not have a job, because a job requires you to work, for you to drive to your job and to drive back home. So I feel like, to me, like, that's already progress, because I drive an hour plus to work every single day and back for 5 days straight. Unless, you know, I do have the privilege to work from home sometimes. So if my boss lets us work from home, then that's better for me. But that's one thing that I do deal with day-to-day basis.